Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Learning YouTube channel. I am Rajesh MP. Today I am going to introduce you to SSLC Part 1 Geography. The name of the chapter is Seasons and Time. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. After watching the video completely, please leave your valuable comments in the comment box. Now we can move on to our chapter, that is Seasons and Time. Occurrence of seasons. This part is very important from SSLC point of view. Variations in the amount of sunshine are the important special feature of the different seasons. Thus, revolution and the tilt of the axis are the reasons for this variation. Now we can study about the revolution of Earth. The Earth revolves around the Sun in elliptical orbit, which is known as the revolution. In this slide, we have shown the representation of Earth, that is globe, and the various degrees and the rays of Sun falling on the different parts of Earth. We can study about equinoxes. What do you mean by equinox? Equal amount of sunlight is received in the northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere when the sun is vertically over the equator. The apparent position of the sun during the Earth's revolution will be over the equator on March 21st and September 23rd. Hence, the length of day and night will be equal during these days on both the hemispheres. This is known as equinoxes. In this page, we have to learn about the apparent movement of the sun also. That is, the parallelism is maintained same throughout the revolution. Then the position of the sun is in relation to the earth varies apparently between the Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degree north, and Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degree south. This movement of the sun is known as the apparent movement of the sun. Now we can study about summer solstice. We can expect a question from SSLC, that is about what is the peculiarity of the day and night in the northern hemisphere on 21st of June. That is, from the 21st March onwards, the sun apparently shifts from the equator northwards and reaches vertically over the Tropic of Cancer, that is the 23.5 degree north on 21st June. This day is known as the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. On this day, the northern hemisphere experiences its longest day and shortest night. What is the peculiarity of the day and night in the southern hemisphere on 22nd of December? That is the next question we can expect. That is, the sun continues its southward apparent shift from the equator from 23rd September and reaches vertically above the Tropic of Capricorn on the 2nd of December. This day is known as the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. On this day, the northern hemisphere experiences its shortest day and longest night. Once moving on to the next slide, we can see about the occurrence of seasons on the basis of the apparent movement of the sun and the months that it takes. That is, in northern hemisphere, we experience spring from March 21st to June 21st. It is because of the apparent movement of the sun from equator to Tropic of Cancer. By this movement, at the same time, southern hemisphere experiences autumn season. From June 21st to September 23rd, summer is being experienced in northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. This is because of the apparent movement of the sun from Tropic of Cancer to the equator. Once the sun moves from the equator to the Tropic of Capricorn, that is from September 23rd to December 22nd, autumn season happens in northern hemisphere while the southern hemisphere experiences spring season. As a result of the apparent movement of the sun from Tropic of Capricorn to that of Equator, winter season will be experienced in northern hemisphere while the southern hemisphere will be experiencing summer, and it happens from the 22nd of December to June 21st. Now we can learn about Uttarayanam and Dakshinayanam. What do you mean by Uttarayanam? It's a very important question which we can expect in SSLC exam. Following the winter solstice, the sun sets its northward apparent movement from Tropic of Capricorn to, and it culminates on Tropic of Cancer, that is on 21st of June. This northward apparent movement of the sun from Tropic of Capricorn to Tropic of Cancer is known as Uttarayanam. The duration of day in the northern hemisphere during this Uttarayanam period gradually increases. Now we can learn about Dakshinayanam. Following the summer solstice, the sun sets its southward apparent movement from Tropic of Cancer and it culminates on Tropic of Capricorn, that is on 22nd of December. This southward apparent movement of the sun from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn is known as Dakshinayanam. The next portion is the occurrence of day and nights in the polar regions. What is the duration of day and night in the North Pole region when the sun is respectively over the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere? This question can be expected for SSLC exam. During the period from March to September, as the sun is in northern hemisphere, the North polar regions experiences continuous daylight for 6 months. From September to March, as the sun is in the northern hemisphere, North polar regions experience continuous nights for 6 months. During the period from September to March, as the sun is in the southern hemisphere, the South polar regions experience continuously daylight for 6 months. But from March to September, as the sun is in the northern hemisphere, South polar regions experience continuous night for 6 months. The sun shines even at midnight for 6 months throughout in the Arctic and Antarctic circles. The sun can be seen only on the horizons. At the time, the remaining 6 months will be shrouded in darkness. Daylight lasts only for 1 or 2 hours. The land will be covered with snow. Human life and limited agriculture are all scheduled according to the peculiarities of this climate. Now we can study about the Greenwich Mean Time or GMT and the various time zones. What is meant by Greenwich Meridian is a very important question from SSLC point of view. The time estimated at each place based on the position of the sun is known as local time. We can expect this for a short answer question. The time required for the completion of one rotation of Earth can be calculated as follows. That is, 24 hours into 60 minutes equals 1440 minutes. The 0-degree longitude as such is known as the Greenwich Meridian. It acquires its name from Greenwich. It's a place where the Royal British Observatory in England is situated, and it is through which this imaginary line passes. Now we can study the second part of this lesson, that's the various time zones. Time is calculated worldwide based on GMT or Greenwich line. Hence this line is also known as the prime meridian. The local time at the prime meridian is known as the Greenwich Mean Time or GMT. Based on the Greenwich Meridian, the world is divided into 24 zones, each with a time difference of 1 hour. They are known as time zones. Now we can look into the standard time. What do you mean by standard time? The local time at the longitude that passes through the middle of a country is always selected as the common time for the whole country. Each country in the world considers the longitude that passes almost through its middle as the standard meridian. The local time at the standard meridian is the standard time of that country. The longitudinal extent of India is from 68 degrees east to 97 degree east. The 82.5 degree east longitude, which passes almost through the middle of these longitudes, has been fixed as the standard meridian of India. The local time along with this longitude is generally considered as the standard time of India. This is also known as Indian Standard Time or IST. Now we can study about the international date line. What is meant by international date line? That is the question that may be asked from this portion. The travelers who cross this line from the west calculate the time by advancing it by 1 day, and those who cross the line from the west will be deduct 1 day. This imaginary line is known as the international date line. Now we can study about the difference between the Indian Standard Time and Greenwich Mean Time, and it is also being launched with the help of an example. The longitudinal difference between India and Greenwich Mean Time is 82 degree 30. The time difference for 15 degree longitude equals 1 hour. That means the time difference for 82 degree 30 plus longitude equals 5.5 hours or 5 hours 30 minutes. As India is located to the east of Greenwich, the time in India will be 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. In that way, we can calculate that the time of India will be the time at Greenwich plus the time difference, that is 12 noon plus 5 hours 30 minutes, that is 5:30 p.m. Now we have reached the end of this video of this geography chapter. Thank you all for watching this video.